What is up, YouTube? This is your boy Juggernaut097 bringing you guys another video today. And today I'm going to be doing my Impact Wrestling review for you guys for July 1st, 2015. And this was Bell to Bell, that was the title of the show. And this show kind of felt more like Slammiversary than Slammiversary felt like Slammiversary, if that makes any sense. This show was better than Slammiversary, in my opinion, like I just said there. But we had some big matches on here. We had, if we had Rising versus BDC, and whoever lost that match had to disband. We had the 30-minute Iron Man match with the Wolves versus the Duty Heels in the Best of Five series. We had, a Knockouts Championship. We had um, the world title on the line. I mean, this was a very jam-packed night for wrestling, and nonetheless, let's quit wasting time and let's get started with this review, shall we? So first off, it shows a video package for the main event tonight, which is going to be the world title match: Kurt Angle versus EC3. It's Ethan Carter III, if you guys don't know that. But yeah, pretty good thing to open it up. I like the video package, so yeah. And then for the first match tonight, we get a 4-on-3 handicap match. The losing team must disband. The Rising versus the BDC. So MVP and Drew Galloway, they start the match. They started throwing punches back and forth, and then Drew hit a nice clothesline and a big boot. Drew was punched. He kept throwing a whole bunch of punches in the corner to MVP. Then Low-Key tagged in the match. Low-Key hit some chops in the corner on Drew Galloway, but then Drew Galloway countered that and did his own chops in the corner. Um, Micah then got tagged into the match. He hit a leg drop on Low-Key. Kenny King tagged in also. Kenny King hit a nice snap suplex on Micah. Kenny King was on, uh, he was like holding Micah, and Loki did a nice like Inzaguri kick off like Micah, which was pretty cool. It was hard. It's kind of hard to explain how he did that, but yeah, that was pretty cool. And then Loki went for the cover, but so Micah got eliminated by that Inzaguri kick. And then Eli Drake came into the match. Um, Then they came back from commercial break and showed Drew Galloway in the ring, and he took a back suplex by Loki, and then Drew Galloway gave Loki a back body drop. Then they both tagged in Eli Drake and MVP. Drake hit a nice flying clothesline, then side Russian leg sweep. Eli Drake clotheslined MVP over the top rope, then runs up to the top rope and superplexes Kenny King, so kind of reminded me of Kurt Angle there for a minute. I like that move. And then the Rising just cleaned house during that part, because Eli Drake and um, Drew Galloway, they pretty much took control over that. And then Eli Drake did a dive over the top rope onto MVP. Eli Drake, he tweaked his ankle, so the referee had to come down. Like the referee had to do the X thing, So pretty much he couldn't compete in the match anymore. So the referees had to carry him off. And then so like I said, the doctors carried Eli Drake away. So now it was a 4-on-1 match, and Drew Galloway got rid of Loki when Kenny King was holding Drew, but Drew ducks it, like he ducks like the kick that Loki was doing, and he hits Kenny King, and so Drew rolled up. Um, Kenny King, he did a schoolboy on Loki and then pinned Kenny King, so it came down to Hernandez. So now it's a 2-on-1 match, and Hernandez, he was in the ring for a little bit. He hit cross the border or something like that. Across the border. I think that's what the finisher is called. No, the border toss. And then tagged in MVP, and then MVP he hit the playmaker on Drew Galloway, and hit like the drive-by and pins Drew Galloway. So the Rising is no longer like they're all gone now. So, I don't really agree with how they did this. I think they should have got rid of the BDC because the BDC's been there for a while, and Loki's on the way out. It kind of feels like everybody who joins the BDC leaves the BDC because we had Joe, he left, and then we have Loki now. He's leaving now he's leaving TNA. And who knows where Loki's gonna be going? Maybe go to Ring of Honor, maybe PWG, maybe somewhere. But I mean, maybe this is just a play. Maybe he's not actually leaving. Like maybe these wrestlers, like who all their contract, who their contracts has ended. Maybe this is just a play. For GFW. But I'll talk about GFW later on in this review. So yeah, I mean, I think they should have kept the Rising around, because here's what I would have done if I was writing the script, because I would have had, I would have had the Rising win, and then the Rising would have just disbanded on their own, since they got rid of the BDC. That's what I would have done, but you know, TNA could do whatever it want though. But yeah, and then we had in-ring promo. It wasn't bad. I mean, it was bad at the beginning, but it kind of got better. So Magnus, he's in the ring. He calls Storm a sorry son of a bitch, and yeah, he calls him a sorry son of a bitch, and that he tells that he's sorry that his parents didn't love him and hug him. Then he tells Mickey to come out, and um, she says, she's sorry. She thanks the crowd and Magnus for Magnus, she thanks Magnus for fighting for her, and then she admits that she should have listened to him from the start, and then it wasn't very emotional during this, like since the loss that Magnus had, this didn't seem very emotional in my opinion. Like they should have, like I know this is taped and stuff, but they should have felt more emotional. Like Magnus should have been sad, like he should have been pissed off during this segment, but he wasn't. And Mickey James should have been pissed off a little bit, but they weren't. Like, yes, I know it's taped, but they should have played to the emotions a little bit. So they kind of failed at that part and didn't really play to the emotions at that. But then James Storm interrupts them, and then he comes out with Koya. Storm was, he said that, he told how easy it was to manipulate a woman, and he says he can get any woman in um, his faction. I can't remember what the hell his faction. The Revolution, yeah. He says he can get anybody in the Revolution. And then Mickey James was like, yeah, then fine. Then like she was like, yeah, we'll be waiting for you. You go find someone to join the Revolution, And she promised the fans that she's gonna have one more match, And this segment wasn't the best until Mickey James came out. Like she is so much better on the mic than Magnus is, and yeah. So how was that? And then next we have was match 5 to crown the tag team champions. It was an Iron Man match, 30-minute Iron Man match. The Wolves versus the Dirty Heels. Aries did a little grappling at the beginning of the match, and then he went for some covers, but then Aries tried he tried, I don't know what that was. He tried pinning Eddie Edwards, but Eddie Edwards kept kicking out. Aries hit a nice he kept like targeting the arm during this match. Let me find out. Let me get my rest of my notes up here. Then Rue got tied into the match. The Wolves did some nice chain grappling during this match to the arm of Rude, and then Eddie Edwards went up to the top rope, and then he did a double foot stomp while Rude was still standing on his arm, and then Rude did his own, arm, he did a double axe handle from the top rope on Eddie Edwards' arm. And Rude went back. He did two back-to-back covers, but Eddie Edwards kicks out, and then Aries did a elbow to the back. One of the Wolves, I can't remember who he did it to. The Dirty Heels, they kept trying to, get quick pins during this match. There were still no pins yet then. The Wolves did a nice. Sorry, my screen went dark there for a minute. The Wolves did a nice headbutt to Aries, double headbutt to Aries. Davey did an atomic drop. Then Eddie Edwards did chops to the chest, and then Davey Richards did the double. He did. They did, and then he did a double foot stomp, and then the Wolves did a lot of double team moves during them. I like they usually do. How they usually do the double team moves. And then Davey had headbutt. Oh yeah, Davey had um, Austin Aries in submission, but Rude, no, he had Rude in submission, but Aries tried to pull the ropes closer. Finally, Rude countered that and made it to the ropes. Davey had a nice, he had a nice suplex on Rude, and the Dirty Heels tagged, um, they targeted the leg of the Wolves during this match. Eddie Edwards had a double hurricane run on the Dirty Heels. Davey sent Aries to Davey sent Aries to Rude, and then Davey Richards did a drop kick to Rude, and then Rude did the DDT on Austin Aries. That was a pretty cool spot right there. Rude was in the Tree of Woe, and then Davey Richards went to the opposite side and hit a flying headbutt. Rude had Davey Richards Rude. Hmm? Oh no, sorry. Oh, where the fuck am I? Sorry about that. I just lost my place. Davey Richards. Uh, oh yeah, I like that part where the Wolves did that power bomb into the knees to the back, and finally the Wolves they got a pin. Did they get a pin that way? I think they did get a pin. Yeah, they did get a pin that way. So the Wolves finally got a pin, and the Dirty Hills they got a pin during this. Wait, or maybe I don't remember who got the pin first, but maybe they did get the pin. I don't remember how they got the pin, but um, I think the Dirty Hills they got a pin when um, I think they got a pin when they did when Aries did like a 450 splash on the top rope, and they pretty much tied. Yeah, they did because it went 2-1. Yeah, I remember. But the winners, I'll just tell you who the winners of the match are. I can't remember all the thing that happened. Like Iron Man matches are hard to kind of review sometimes, in my opinion. But the winners of the match were the Wolves, so they are the new tag team champions. I don't remember really how they won though. Oh, here we go. The Dirty Heels. They tried to keep. No. Oh yeah, they tried to go for a Rude bomb, but Eddie Edwards rolled up Rude for the win. I didn't like how it ended up by a roll up, so yeah, that's one thing I had. Sorry about that. I was kind of getting confused during that match, but yeah, that was that. So new tag team champions, the Wolves they came out on top of the series, which that was my prediction. And Austin Aries is gonna be leaving TNA soon, so yeah. And then next we had was a TNA Knockouts Championship match. Awesome Kong versus Brooke versus Taryn Terrell. Taryn, she just like jumped on Brooke, like she pounced on her. She started throwing punches on Brooke, and then Brooke rolled over and did start throwing punches on Kong, and just they just like went back and forth. But um, Awesome Kong, she grabbed Taryn Terrell and threw her across the ring, and same with Brooke. She did the same with Taryn Terrell, threw her across the ring. Kong almost killed Taryn Terrell during this match when she did a splash in the corner. Brooke did a face buster on Taryn Terrell. Brooke and Awesome Kong they double teamed Taryn Terrell, so they got rid of her. And then Taryn Terrell she hit a nice snap suplex on Brooke. Kong hit the chokeslam on Taryn Terrell. Brooke hit a nice spear on Taryn Terrell. Brooke was on the top rope, but the Dollhouse, they got involved and they tried to, take control of Kong and Brooke during this match. Um, but the winner of the match was Taryn Terrell. I think it was Marty Bell. She did a neck breaker on Kong. Yeah, it was Kong. She did a neck breaker on Kong, and then Taryn Terrell did she hit the cutter for the win. So still your Knockouts champion, Taryn Terrell. So yeah, I mean, I think the Knockouts division kind of went down after Havoc was gone. And after this match, it showed like the video package that's been shown lately, and it showed that it was Gail Kim's video. It was a video package for Gail Kim. So yeah, that was that. Mm. And then next we had what? Let me check here. Oh, sorry. The next we had was an exclusive interview with Jeff Jarrett, Part One. Mike Tenay, what he did a sit down interview with Jeff Jarrett and Karen Jarrett. Jeff, he pretty much spoke for 2 minutes and pretty much talked about that talked about TNA and Global Force might be doing something together. Which this was a very long thing. That's pretty much what we talked about. Like he pretty much said something, 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 and then Global Force wrestling, and that was pretty much it. So it's pretty much hyped up for nothing, really, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is, though. So yeah, and they're gonna have a part 2 next week, which I don't know why. They could just had them just one part, but whatever. It is what it is, like I said. But yeah. Then moving on to the main event, we got the TNA World Title match, EC3 with Tyrus versus Kurt Angle. They did some chain grappling at the beginning. Angle hit a nice arm drag. Angle hits he hit a belly to belly suplex. Angle hit a German suplex. Then kept his hands locked and did an air German suplex. But EC3 he gets to the ropes and um, Angle throws him over the top rope because Angle was trying to go for a third German suplex, but he couldn't. And then Angle did a belly to belly suplex on the outside of the ring, and then they got back into the ring. And Angle did 2 German suplexes again, and then EC3 did the same thing where he went to the ropes during that. And then, like I said, they were back in the ring. EC3 hit the EC3 splash in the corner on. He hit the EC3 splash in the corner. He kind of did like a rude bomb type of move in this match. Finally, Angle hit the trifecta of German suplexes. Angle went for the Angle slam, but EC3 counters, and Angle hit another 3 German suplexes. EC3 tried going for the splash again, but Angle moved and hit the Angle slam, but EC3 kicks out. He kicked out too. Angle locked in the ankle lock, but EC3 counters it, and then Angle goes flying out to the ring. And sorry if you guys can hear in the background. And then Tyrus he clotheslines he clotheslines Kurt Angle outside the ring when the ref wasn't looking, and Tyrus did a clothesline. EC3 went for the 1%er, but Angle countered that into the ankle lock. Angle hit 4 German suplexes in a row, but Tyrus got up on the apron, and Angle pushes EC3 into Tyrus, and then Angle hit the Angle slam, but EC3 kicks out at 2 again. Then Angle goes for the ankle lock, but EC3 counters that. Almost runs into the ref, but the ref takes a bump, and then Tyrus gets in the ring. Tyrus did a big ending type of move, like onto Kurt Angle, and then EC3 hit the 1%er, but Angle again kicks out at 2. EC3 goes for the 1%er, but Angle puts him in the ankle lock again. Then Angle went for an ankle slam, but EC3 slips out the back and rolls up Kurt Angle for the 1-2-3. So your new TNA World Champion EC3. And during the match, also Tyrus he got ejected from ringside when he brought a chair in to the match, and referees had to come and eject Tyrus. But yeah, this was my Impact review. Very good show. I liked it. I'm sorry I didn't do the best reviewing of the tag team match. It's kind of hard, the tag team match to review. I 30-minute Iron Man matches are kind of hard to review, like for me, in my opinion. But yeah, this later on tonight we got my sorry, my computer. For some reason my computer always goes to sleep. I don't know why, but later on tonight we probably got my RH review because I still need to do my RH review from last night. And Saturday I'm probably going to be doing the Beast in the East show review, and also I'm going to be doing my Ring of Honor review for like on Saturday because I think Destination America is a week behind like the Sinclair broadcast. But enough of me rambling on. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at @TheTruthJSB. Again, it's at @TheTruthJSB. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If this is your first time ever checking out one of my videos, and I'll be doing daily wrestling videos, if you do subscribe to me, for your daily dose of wrestling videos, for my predictions, my reviews, all that good jazz, my day in the life of, which I got a day in the life of coming up soon, which I'm not gonna tell you when though. So yeah, again, like I said, don't forget to follow me on Twitter, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like the video, dislike it, whatever you want to do, just do something. And comment down below how did you like TNA? How did you like Bell Bell? Did you like it better than Slammiversary? Did you not? So yeah. But Juggernaut saying, peace out. Catch you guys in my next video. So peace out.